Hi, welcome back to the Swallow's Nest Homestead. Today we are going to make a Comfrey Fertilizer tea. Once the tea is finished, then it can be added to water and used as fertilizer to improve the minerals in your soil. Okay, for starters, this is the tool I like to use. I call it my rice knife. I think it's actually bigger than a true rice knife, but it's kind of like a small handheld scythe almost. It's got a nice sharp curved blade, so it makes it really nice for cutting grasses and things like that. And this is what I use to cut the comfrey. So you can use pruners or pretty much whatever you want really, that'll do the job. But what I do is I just grab, this is the comfrey, you can see it's in bloom. This is a perfect time to cut it for tea, and I just grab the tall stalks and then slice them off with the rice knife. Like that. Really easy. So I'm gonna go collect a whole bunch of comfrey. Just some quick thoughts about comfrey. You can chop down comfrey as many as 8 times a year, and I like to do it when it's flowering. It doesn't flower quite so many times a year, but it's also important if you're buying comfrey starts or roots that you buy a sterile variety because they can become invasive. Also, when you're chopping or working with comfrey, unless you want more plants, don't pull out the plants by the roots because every broken root will become a new plant, and that can get out of hand very quickly. So, but it's also a very easy way to propagate them. I put some in pots when I bought some root starts and put them around the base of a couple of apple trees and let them sit in the pots, and the root actually grew through the pot and into the ground. So then I just picked up the pot, left the piece of root that was there, and moved it to another spot. Really easy way to propagate comfrey if that's what you want. So aside from cutting comfrey for compost tea, you can chop and drop it, which means just chop off the leaves, set them on the ground and leave them. They'll decompose, and all those minerals that are in the leaves will absorb into the upper layer of soil and become available for the roots of neighboring plants. Comfrey is a dynamic accumulator. It has a very long tap root, and in a way, it actually mines minerals from the soil and draws them up into the leaves, which is why they are so good for chop and drop or for making compost tea from, because all those minerals that are in the leaves then are fed back to the soil and in turn taken up by neighboring plants. So comfrey is a great addition to an orchard, food forest, which is primarily where we have ours. We have them at least one at the base of every fruit tree because it really helps add nutrients to the soil. We have very fast draining soil. It's very rocky because we're in the bottom of a river valley, and so all those nutrients, the rain just washes nutrients right through the soil. So we have to find ways to naturally re-add nutrients and re-add minerals to the soil on a constant basis, and comfrey allows us to do that. So this is a 5-gallon bucket, and I've just stuffed the comfrey in it. I haven't chopped it up very much. I just cut it up enough to get it into the bucket. And so now what we're going to do is we are just going to cover the comfrey with water. Okay, you can see I didn't fill it totally full. They're mostly submerged. I'm not too worried about it. They break down actually very quickly. And so what we'll do is we will just put a lid on that and let it sit for, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks. Like I said, it breaks down very quickly. So once the leaves have really started to break down, that's about when it's done. The steeping time is going to vary depending on how warm the weather is, and how much plant material you have in the water. All right, so here is our finished bucket of Comfrey tea. And there's, I don't know, probably 2 gallons left in here. So this is full strength tea. We will dilute it 1 part tea to 10 parts water and use it for watering plants, trees, whatever needs watering. We use our 25-gallon sprayer and try to put ½ gallon to 1 gallon per tree, depending on how warm it's been, how dry it's been, and how much nutrient the trees need. So that's really all there is to it. It's a pretty simple process, and it's a nice, almost free way to add nutrients to the soil for the benefit of your plants. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a bit about Comfrey and how to use it to your advantage in your homestead. If you have any other questions about Comfrey, please ask, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next week.